age 7. An Apple for Harriet Tubman. Written by Glennette, Tilley. Harriet was born into slavery around the year 1820. Her parents, Ben and Whit Ross, were enslaved on the Broadway plantation in Maryland. Because their parents were the property of Edward Broadway, Harriet and her brothers and sisters belonged to him too, the law said. Slavery was not fair. The slaves had a hard life. They chopped down trees, cleared swamps, tended the tobacco fields, and did all the other jobs on the Broadway plantation. The slaves didn't get paid and had to do everything their overseers told them to do. Even the children had to work. Now that is really bad. Even the children? Not fair. When Harriet was only 7, Edward Broadway sent her to work for an unkind woman named Miss Susan. One of Harriet's jobs was to sit up all night, taking care of one child, Mrs. Susan's baby, so her crying would not wake her mother. If the baby did cry, like the book said, Miss Susan would whip Harriet. Mean. And there she is, having a little whip. Later on, Harriet worked in the fields. She liked working outdoors where she could feel the fresh breezes, see the sunshine, and watch the birds fly free. Picking apples was her favorite outdoor job. Whenever she held a shiny red apple in her hand, she wished, oh, how she wished she could take a big bite out of it. She longed to know if it tastes as good as it looked. She didn't like the fact that she and the other slaves were expected to pick, wash, and polish these luscious-looking apples, but were forbidden to eat any. That means not to eat any. She didn't think it was fair that slaves did all the work, just like me, and the family in the big house got to eat all the apples. Red and shiny. Maybe those are red, gorgeous apples. Each day as Harriet picked and polished apples, she looked for the chance to crunch into them. One day, when the overseer was walking down the other end of the arch, she thought, this is my chance. Well, she thought it was, but let me tell you the other part. Wah, wah, wah. But just as she was biting deep into a delicious apple, the overseer whirled around and caught her. Angrily, he took his whip and flashed Harriet. The whip tore through her clothing and into her flesh, left scars that lasted the rest of her life. She couldn't fight back or do anything about it then, but she made herself a promise. One day, I'm gonna be free, and I'm gonna have all the apples I want. Clutch teeth. Years passed, and Harriet married a free man by the name of John Tubman. In 1849, she learned that she might be sold and sent away from her husband and sisters and brothers. Harriet took action. She ran away from the Broadway plantation. She walked until she reached a safe house, a place where she knew members of the Underground Railroad would help her. The Underground Railroad. It's not a railroad, but a group of black and white men and women who took great risks to help people escape from slavery. Then, through dense forests and chilly swamps, she followed the North Star toward the north and freedom. She was always on the lookout for slavers, hunters, and their bloodhound dogs. Later, Harriet was hidden in a farm wagon, taken to another safe house. Finally, she reached the Delaware Bay. The state of Delaware, a boatman helped her cross to New Jersey shore. From there, she made her way to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here in the north, she was free, just as she promised herself that she would be. But she was forgetting the suitcase. But Harriet was not happy living in freedom while her family was still enslaved. Unfair. She went to work as a maid and a cook. She saved her money and went back again and again to Maryland to free her family and let many other people out of slavery. It was extremely dangerous for Harriet to do this. There was a huge reward for her capture. The slaveholders were very, very angry that she'd become an Underground Railroad conductor, carrying other slaves to freedom. But she and her passengers were never caught. None of these people were ever caught. In 1869, Harriet bought a house near Apron, New York. She planted rows of apple trees along the lane that led from the road to her home. It had taken a long time, but she was finally able to keep the second part of the promise that she had made to herself. Then all the slaves and white people gathered around to apples. Each fall, when the apples were ripe and ready for picking, Harriet's husband had all the apples she could eat. She invited the townspeople to come and fill their baskets. Harriet's husband's apples were a symbol of freedom for everyone to share. Those might be the same apples too. And she was not selfish for herself. She went back for other slaves instead of being like, ha ha, I get slavery and you don't. I don't get slavery and you don't. Stealing away was a signal. One night she made a plan. She told all of the black and brown people that were working, and and every night she would whisper in one of the people's ears, one of the black or brown people's ears, put out the signal. So they'd sing, steal away, steal away. And all the other slaves would tiptoe past Harriet, tiptoe with Harriet Tubman into the Underground Railroad opening. Steal